Hello! It's Miss Sophie Le Piff Cruz here, and I am going to do my first review. That fan is super fucking loud. Please hold. Okay. Ugh. Cannot contain these jugs. They're rolled up socks because I lost my titties. Because Sophie gets drunk after shows. Throws her chicken cutlets everywhere. So anyway, I'm going to do my first review ever. I got into really quick drag. There's a show tomorrow that we are doing with Nyx Presents, and you should check that out on the YouTubes. If this is watched in the future, forget all that fucking stuff. I mean, it'll still be on the internet. You can look it up. It'll be Spooktober, because we have to change the month. So anyway, the album I'm going to review. So anyway, the album I'm going to review is Mariah Carey's The Rarities. First off, this is the most exciting era for, you know, a Mariah fan since her big comeback in 2005 with the Emancipation of Mimi. I remember being so excited then, and I've been excited this year so much because it's her 30th anniversary. She's been releasing new stuff every Friday. Pretty much all her singles are on streaming platforms now, except the Glitter singles, which finally came out on, you know, streaming as well, is #1. And she has the new memoir that coincides with The Rarities, and it's just gorgeous! So, first off, the first song is Here We Go Round Again, which is very Jackson 5. It is so, so good. Let's hear it.
Here we go around again, one more time. Will it ever end? Here we go around.
It is so, so good. She sounds so young. I'm guessing this was recorded, you know, around the first album. So I'm guessing the late 80s, perhaps. It's a demo. Gorgeous song. One of my favorites. Great way to start it out. And it moves right onto Can You Hear Me? Which is very Barbra Streisand. Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you see me? No, it's not though. It's actually a beautiful, lush ballad. My friend said it sounds like the Emotions era, but it does not sound like that to me. It sounds like Music Box era to me, where it's just very lush orchestration. But it also seems very personal, which was, you know, not always the Mariah in the first few albums. And we all love Music Box. And as beautiful a song as it is, I can see why it was left off. But it's great addition. So let's listen to Can You Hear Me?
Sometimes I feel like you don't understand me.
Gorgeous song. After that, we get some B-sides that we haven't heard in a long time, because they were released during the Music Box era. You know, I didn't have those singles when they came out as a wee pup. And I was lucky to get a Mariah tape now and then. Tape. Fuck, I'm old. So, the first one is my favorite B-side. It's so underrated. Everything Fades Away. She recently performed that with her background singers on her page. And I was like, yes! Is it coming to streaming? And months later, it finally did. And I was looking at all the singles, and I was like, why isn't Everything Fades Away on any of these singles that you put out on Spotify? Ruad! So, it's out now. I love it. I sang it, you know, in my room, the instrumental. And you know, with this deep voice, you know, it sounded fucking terrible. I may look a little like Mariah, but I do not sound like her at all. So that's my favorite. Let's listen to a little bit.
Baby, I don't want to anymore.
Such a good freaking song. It was, I think it was on some bonus releases in some countries on the Music Box album. But we missed out because Tommy Mottola is a fucker. And I'm going to say that about 10 million times in this review. The next song is another B-side from Music Box, Do You Think of Me? I've always liked this song. Let's listen. Apparently these songs were too R&B, and Tommy Mottola is a fucker. There's number 2. Good stuff. Good shit. Good fucking shit. Next up is All I Live For. Here's a snippet.
All I live for, all I have.
It's a good song. You know, I can see why it's left off. I mean, all the songs are good, but they don't really fit into their respective albums, so, you know. Beautiful, beautiful song. One Night is up next, and I actually really, really like that one. Very, it starts out with, you know, classic Mariah slow interlude, and then turns into a hip-hop number. Let's listen.
You'll be wearing just out for the one night. He just don't want you.
Pretty good, right? Catchy. Probably one of the more catchier songs on the album. Next is Slipping Away, which is everyone else's favorite Mariah B-side. And I mean, I've always liked it, but Everything Fades Away is the best. And There For Me from Glitter. That was a good one. So here's a little part of Slipping Away. I really like that one. Finally get it on streaming, so that's always good. After that is Out Here on My Own, which I had never known Mariah to record because I didn't hear this story. She apparently won a singing competition in her younger years singing this song. And, you know, after the #1's album, I do believe, she recorded it. And nobody knew! And it's a big story in her book. And she talks about how, you know, when she was living with 10 million girls, when she moved to New York, she felt like she was out there on her own. And I actually am very touched by her version because it makes it a little more emotional rather than, you know, the romantic ballad that it was when it came out in the 80s. And it reminds me of, like, me. Like in 2005, when I moved to Minneapolis for a hot minute. And then couldn't get a job and had to move back. And that song just, it's so, so good. Let's listen.
Sometimes I wonder where I've been.
Oh, I am melting! Melting! Whew. These lights. I'm not wearing earrings. How embarrassing. I didn't mean to flip my hair. I should have worn, like, Princess Leia bun ears. So anyway, I have to dab my face because I'm melting. Literally. Okay, I'm back. Sorry that was embarrassing. But I have to turn all my shit off because I don't have good equipment. And then I melt. My couch is soaked. Because I peed a little bit too. So, where were we? Oh, my favorite. I've always wanted to hear the original Loverboy. You know, as some people know, the snippet, the sample, was originally from Firecracker. It's actually in the theme. It's in the promo video for Glitter. And when the song came out, it was completely changed. Because Tommy Mottola found out that she was using the Firecracker sample and had Jennifer Lopez record. I can't remember what song. I mean, I actually don't hate Jennifer Lopez. But yeah, she was kind of pushed by Tommy Mottola to be the new Mariah. And, you know, they were shady and stealing ideas and giving them to Jennifer Lopez. And I've always wanted to hear it, and I don't know exactly what I think of it. Because it sounds very, very hardcore, like hip-hop. Which isn't a bad thing. But it just sounds very different from the Loverboy we know. Which was the best-selling single of 2001. But y'all say she flopped. And then she went nuts. So, yeah, let's listen a little bit.
I got myself a lover who knows what I like. When he invites me over, I come every time.
So I'm not sure if, you know, this is supposed to be the single version or what. I wonder what, because she had an original one of Loverboy on the soundtrack that was, you know, her supposed to be in the 80s in the Glitter movie. That was very downplayed. And then the single version, it was, you know, more hip-hop. So I'm wondering what it sounds like without all that added stuff. If they tried to make it sound more 80s. Like, I want to hear more Mariah. I just want a whole album of Loverboy remixes. Different versions. And a duet with Jennifer Lopez. Next up is I Pray, which is a song that she wrote for a little boy who has a very Mariah Carey-esque voice. And he performed it on Oprah. And we just didn't know if Mariah had actually recorded a full version or what. But you can just tell from when you listen to that song that Mariah wrote it. So it was very nice to hear her do it. It's one of her very inspirational songs. You know, every album she has one. And it's just very fly like a bird. Gorgeous, gorgeous song. Listen to this vocal. So that's another one of my favorites on here. Next is my probably least favorite. It was known as, to the fans, as Kick Rocks. Because she said in an interview that she wrote the song for this album called Kick Rocks. And then she changed the title on the Rarities to Cool on You. Why? Nobody knows. It's Mariah. So, it was... She has a kiss-off song now and then, and this is not one of her stronger kiss-off songs. It's like, Kick Rocks. We're not going to do a snippet of it. Just fucking hateful. Next is another one of my favorites. Okay, I love this whole album. But this one, Mesmerized, is another one that's very, very catchy. Again, it's very Jackson 5. But it came out, you know, way after her 90s period. And let's listen. So I really, really enjoy that one. Next is Lullaby of Birdland, which she performed on the... what was that tour? Me, I Am Mariah. On that tour. And, you know, it's always nice when she throws something in there just for the fans, like a new song. But it's very jazzy. It goes back to The Wind from her Emotions 91 album. She did a jazz cover, wrote lyrics for a jazz instrumental, actually. And she just... People always say that they want to hear a Mariah jazz album, and I do as well. I don't even like jazz, but I like it when Mariah does it. I like it when Mariah does anything. So... Whisper low, kiss me sweet. Just a beautiful rendition of that one. Next is a single with Lauryn Hill called Save the Day.
If he won't, and she won't, and we won't, then we won't,
rumors of a Lauryn Hill Mariah Carey collab many, many years ago, and nothing materialized, and we suddenly got it. And I don't know if Lauryn Hill ever recorded a part for it, and they just kind of made do and used a sample of Killing Me Softly in the song, but it's definitely a good one. Like, it's one of the stronger Mariah singles in recent years. And, you know, everyone loves Lauryn Hill and that fucking song. So, it's perfect. Finally is a song that has actually touched me many, many times. Much like, I'm not gonna go there. Not gonna go there! So anyway, the Butterfly album is, you know, every Mariah fan's favorite. Because she finally got free of Tommy Mottola. She had this big, you know, emotional album. She finally got to do R&B and hip-hop, the stuff that she wanted to do that, you know, they told her she couldn't do. And one of the songs on there is a very touching one called Close My Eyes. And I remember that was one of my favorites. And on the Rosie O'Donnell show, she sang it live. So she has a deep affinity for this song, which is why she re-recorded it this year to include as an acoustic version. To me, there's not a whole lot of difference. You know, more Mariah voice and less orchestration, I guess. But it's always appreciated. I think Mariah should release just, you know, an acoustic album. You know, like MTV Unplugged Part 2. And that's my review. The second disc of the Rarities is, you know, live at the Tokyo Dome when she sold out a Japan stadium, which is huge. She's the best-selling English artist of all time in Japan. All her albums are like a million copies there, which is like a billion copies. I think their certification is actually called million. Something like that. Ours is like platinum. Theirs is like million. Because we don't like to confuse people. It's just a million. So, that's good. There was some things that I wish was included on the Rarities. Like everything. All her demos. If you go through, you know, Mariah Rarities, she has all these songs copywritten and we haven't heard it. I feel like she could have released a double album of just unreleased shit. And it would have been amazing. I wish she had also included her original demo that got her signed. But I know that dickhead, Ben Margulies, was, you know, screwed her over and got royalties up the wazoo off of her and then tried to work with her from then on. So I know Mariah's a little salty on that and, you know, doesn't want to feature a lot of their work together. And they worked a lot on that first album and the demos that led up to it. So I can see why Mariah doesn't want to linger on that period too much. But I still want to hear them. What else? There was more. I wish we could have heard Where Are You Christmas? Which, again, she was not allowed to record for the Grinch soundtrack because Tommy Mottola is a fucker. So it went to Faith Hill, who has an amazing voice. Like, I don't know anyone else who could sing that great. But if you hear her vocal, it's very Mariah Carey. And I would have loved to hear Mariah Carey's version of that, because she's the Queen of Christmas. We have 2 amazing Christmas albums. You know, she tours every year for Christmas. I want to hear Where Are You Christmas someday. Get on it! So... more B-sides, or B-side, Japanese, you know, outtakes. What are they? The songs that they always put at the end of a Japanese album. Like Heat. Heat is another one of my, it's probably my second favorite. Rarity. I guess. Like, that's a good kiss-off song. I would have liked that on there. And, you know, Angel's Advocate, the album after, you know, Memoirs of a Imperfect Angel, was supposed to be a remix album where she collabs with a bunch of people. She apparently recorded a new song with Westlife, which she had a #1 with. Her third, I do believe, in the UK. Their version of Against All Odds. And I would have liked to hear the new material that was coming out of there. I mean, we got some of the singles were released. Some of them are bonus tracks on Me, I Am Mariah. And I wish we could have listened to the whole album. So, that's it. Thank you for watching. It's been me, Sophie Le Piff Cruz. You know, I have trouble saying my name sometimes. So anyway, love you. Stay tuned. Go support Mariah and Drag. And love one another, sisters and brothers. And now I'm going to sing my rendition of Hero.